Well, hello and welcome back to my channel, My Noah Hyde Family. This is actually going to be the first video to do with teaching children how to draw, namely with pencils. Now, why do I suggest pencils? Well, I think I've told you all that my mother described my artwork as reasonable as long as you didn't add water. If I was painting, liquid mediums were not suitable for me. It went everywhere except on the paper. And I think my mother was actually quite kind in saying that and directing me into what she felt that I was better mastered for. So let me tell you about the power of the pencil. It is portable. You only need a lead pencil and a sharpener, and it's questionable whether you need a rubber or not. Some people say no, but the jury's out on that as far as I'm concerned. At times you do have to use a rubber, especially when you're doing something a bit technical or the child's getting on a little bit and you can show them easily how to correct something. But let me just also mention that they're doing roadworks this morning outside of my house. We live in the country, but we've had so much flooding recently that parts of the road was almost washed out. So if you hear some beeping and some trucks occasionally, I apologise, but you know what, we're going to be real happy to have our road fixed again. Now, back to the power of a pencil. It's very portable, as I said, and it also is one of the first things you can teach a child how to use a pencil. It doesn't make too much mess anywhere. It's an easy thing for them to grasp, and once they start learning with a bit of paper under them, they can make marks on it. No matter how young, they really do become quite engaged with the pencil. They're seeing something they've created. Now, sometimes they'll get the pencil like this and, scrub across the paper. That's okay. It depends on their age, because they will soon start to develop those fine motor neuron movements. Their digits will start to grasp things, and you're doing them a good turn, because not only are you getting them encouraged in drawing and expression, but you're also getting them used to manipulating the pencils and things. So don't worry too much about giving them too many rules. The important thing is to show them something you can do with a pencil. And one of the things that I say also, especially if you've got preschoolers or young year one children, is use numbers and letters to make drawings, putting them together in certain ways. But one of the first and easiest things I'm going to show you is drawing a leaf. And this is really for you mums and dads and grandparents, because you don't have to be an artist either. Just some simple rules. So one of the things, I've put up a white paper here because I feel there was too much glare on the whiteboard, and I didn't want to make it distressing for you to watch. So let's just say we're going to draw a leaf. Okay. Well, the first thing you do is you make an arch like that, just a curve like that. Then you come back up the top here and you make a round curve that way. Now, where am I going to go with this? Okay, well, we'll pick up here and pick up here, and there we have a leaf. You can go in later and put some little markings on it if you feel so inclined. It doesn't have to. And there is your leaf. You can make this stalk come out a little bit with a little few more strokes. So and I'm at a disadvantage too, because a lot of the times I draw left-handed, but I wanted to sort of let you see how to do it on the whiteboard or on your paper. So that is something you can impress a child, and it starts with just that first arc. That's the leaf going that way, and then you want somewhere to start your shape of your leaf, and that's really the two strokes that make the leaf come to life, and what you add is just connecting them at the correct spot. Now, it doesn't matter if you have a long stalk here and you start the leaf down there, doesn't matter. But that's something you can impress the children with right up the first lesson you do with them, or the first session you have with them. Then we're going to explain to children when you're taking them out or when you're walking with them in the park, you know, if it's appropriate, pick a little leaf off a tree or a branch, and they can take it home and look at it, put it in a vase with a bit of water, keep it alive, and then they can practice drawing those leaves. Or with the era now of our iPhones and things, it's so easy just to photograph them, isn't it? But it's nice to get children engaged in what they're doing. And, you know, art is also tactile, you know, feel the leaf, smell the leaf. All those things are great learning opportunity for the children. Now, another little trick I will just go, I made myself a couple of notes here. I think I mentioned, you know, it's relatively noise-free and portable. A colouring in book and a few pencils is a great quiet activity for children, and never underestimate how much the children are learning from what may seem simple tasks. So I'm going to show you another little trick now, and we're going to concentrate on letters. Now, see these, you can get copies, print out copies or buy even books now with alphabet and numbers and things like that for preschoolers and the grade 1s, grade 2s, starting school. And you'll get them with the capital letter and then the small letter. So you can, I'm not going to show you what to do with every one of them, because I want to know how you interpret that into something. But we will go through some of those from time to time. So let's just take a little look here at, let's look at number 3. The humble number 3. Okay, it starts, we write it normally like this. But what happens if you do one backwards? And then down here you draw a little centre. Again, this is I'm a bit wonky doing this. And you might put a couple of feelers out there. And what have you got? You've got a little butterfly. And that is all you need to show a child. Then, and you can say that's the letter, that's the number 3. One going the correct way, this one, and one you reverse and turn it round the other way. You can do that now with your imagination. Some of the letters, C's and B's are great, a similar thing. We can do a B that goes that way, and then we can turn it round and go that way, and you've got quite a nice looking little butterfly, haven't you? Or you could turn it into a B if you wanted to, maybe make it a B, it doesn't matter. Because it is B, you could say B for bee, buzzing bee. So there's all sorts of things you can gather, and I'm only giving you a few ideas, and you as the adult can expand upon this. It's very important that you engage children in some quiet, sedate sort of activity. It's a thinking time. It's a communication time with the adult and the child, or a bigger, older sibling talking to a younger one. And as we go with these videos, I'll show you lots more tricks. Stop and rewind this whenever you feel like it. These are very rudimentary, but they are, that reversing the letters and things like that. You can draw lots of things by reversing letters and even the numbers, and we will explore that further in the next couple of videos, because we'll add more letters or more numbers to the actual thing we're drawing. So what do you think the child is grasping through that? Well, number one, it's learning to control a pencil. It may not be good at first, it doesn't matter. They will improve. Muscle memory comes through practice. And then as that, you can graduate on a little bit further with the child, always giving them a little challenge, but don't set them an impossible task. Don't expect them to look out the window and draw the complete scene they can see. No. That will make the child sour. It's beyond their expressive ability when they're very young to copy something that looks like you see it. And so the parent can sometimes be a bit disappointed, or the teacher. It's very important that you give them some things to learn that straight away they can then tell grandpa or grandma or their older siblings what they've drawn. They can say it's a bee or a butterfly, whichever. It could be either, it doesn't really matter. And so the child has achieved something, that they're able to discuss it and talk about it. So I can't underestimate the power of just a plain pencil. Then, of course, you introduced a few coloured pencils, then they can get to colour in. Doesn't matter if they go outside the lines, that's perfectly fine. As their digital ability improves and the pencil strength of holding a pencil, they will get to colour in inside the lines. But you're also teaching them about colour. What colour's the grass, Now, sometimes children don't know their colours properly, or sometimes a child can be a bit colourblind, and that's not a problem. You can get around that. But at first, it must be something they can achieve with simplicity, and something that is reasonably easy for them to draw. It's recognisable to them, and it's nice sometimes just to have a clean, noise-free activity. If you've got more than one child, you can go now to all sorts of shops and buy 12 coloured pencils for next to nothing. They're all coloured pencils. Now, if you're going to draw a portrait, you might want to look at an expensive coloured pencil if you're the artist. But as long as they are, I don't know, we have pencils in Kmart and things like that are quite cheap. You can get them on special sometimes for 12 for $2 or something. So get them used to holding a pencil. Also at this stage, I'm talking preschool age, so sometimes a child hasn't developed his dominant hand, or they're using both. Don't try to influence them. That child will come to it, and one hand will become dominant. And very, very important that you don't try to over-influence them. As long as they've got pencil control, it'll become evident to the child what hand feels more comfortable. So that's just a little experience that I had, because I was predominantly left-handed. And in those days, oh no, the world wasn't geared to left-handers, you know. My mother tried quite desperately to change me. It didn't affect me, but I still often favour my left hand to do things, you know. I mostly write right-handed, use a pencil, but there's a lot of things I do left-handed because it's more comfortable, and it was probably normally meant to be my dominant hand. I don't know. Some people are ambidextrous. I don't know. So this first video is really just to describe to you how basic to start off with. How do I think up some ideas? Numbers and letters are a great place to start. You can ask the child to, draw simple things. Don't overtax them. Make whatever the activity is, make it one that the child sees their progress. And that leaf is a great way because they can watch you do it and then you can do it together. And they get the lessons of curves. It doesn't matter if they're not exact. And then you get to do straight lines, draw a fence, things like that. So I do hope that this video has been helpful. It is, as I said, just an introduction, just to give you some ideas, some suggestions of where to begin. And it is a quiet activity and it's portable. It's clean, it's relatively no mess except maybe a few pencil shavings. We can live with that. And again, it gives the parent and the child, or the carer and the child, a great deal of satisfaction for both. And let's not forget, it's fun. We're meant to have fun. I'm sorry we've had a few background noises like beeping trucks and things. I hope that the next video won't have any of these, but I really wanted to get one done and get it out so you could start doing some of these wonderful things with your child or your grandchild and enjoying it with them. That's the main thing. In the meantime, please take care and God bless.